Hello. So, this is episode 10.1, and I'm going to repeat in all of the 10 episode series. In middle school, this was my favorite year because a lot of nice things, nice events, experiences happen, this year. So, the one event or happening that I remember is uh, my amama during this time. One of her relatives, and it's strange, I actually don't remember who the relative was, but one of her relatives from her mom's side was getting married, and must be somebody important because all of her cousins and sisters and their children, they were all invited to Vijayawada for the wedding, to attend the wedding. So my mama had her mother had passed away when she was quite young, I believe, maybe when she was around 10. She would always tell me how after her mother passed away, she actually would go to the store and buy the groceries and all that for her family, and she cooked actually for her dad and her sisters, and pretty much she was like a mother to all her sisters. She was the oldest one in her family, and some of her mother had actually passed away during childbirth, I think. uh, and some of her sisters, one of her sisters was actually literally like a baby, like 1 year old, when my amama's mother passed away. So my amama's mother uh, had had two sisters. She might have had more, but I don't know them. So she had two sisters, and my amama's mother, I think, was the middle one, and her older sister, her name was Sundari, and in the mom's older sister, the children refer to them as Amma. So Sundari Amma is Sundarama. So everybody refers to her as Sundarama. And my Amama's mom's younger sister was Kanakavalli, and she was referred to as Kanakavalli Pinni, and everybody referred to her as Kanakavalli Pinni, but actually she was my Amama's Pinni. And my mama's mother, of course, nobody, not even my mom or her siblings, knew her because she passed away when my mama herself was very young. So this Sundaramma used to live in Vijayawada. So I believe she was widowed, and Kanakavalli Pinni used to live in Chennai, back then Madras. So this wedding, again, I don't remember whose wedding it was, but definitely it was on my mama's mom's side because it was being held in Sundaramma's house in Vijayawada, actually. So my Amama definitely wanted to visit, but by this time, everybody was, her children and everybody was busy in their jobs. My mother was getting into a little bit thick of studying for her and determining her the topic of her thesis, of her PhD thesis. So everybody was really busy. So, but my mama didn't want to miss it because it would be an opportunity to meet all her relatives and everything. So she said, she asked my mom and dad, like my parents, if she could take me along. My brother was very old by that time, much older. He was 17, so he was not that interested. And also, by that time, he was very independent and he was into his own thing. And my sister was only 2, so she was too young. She was still a baby, very much a baby. She started walking and all that, but so left was me. So my my parents agreed. So I was very very thrilled about this because I loved to travel. So I would never miss an opportunity to travel with anybody anywhere. So it was very exciting for me that my parents agreed. So we used to have a VIP suitcase at home. It was like a smaller size and it was red in color. And my dad used to use it for his travels. So, of course, they packed all my outfits and everything. I packed it in there. My Bama helped me pack and for the wedding and all that. And we uh, we were going to travel to Vijayawada in a bus, and this was like super exciting for us actually. During in the so what happened was we got into the bus, and it was an overnight journey in the bus. So around 7 p.m. or something, my dad dropped us both off at the bus station, and we loaded the suitcase on top, and my mama had her own bag. She had a little wired basket in which she had everything, and she had a little bag in which she had packed everything, her stuff. And we sat in the bus and we headed out. So it was pretty much very soon um, my mama started telling me some stories. She didn't know many stories. She would make them up. So she started telling me some story, and eventually, like, I tried falling asleep. After about 3 hours into the journey, I had to, I was still a child. I was not so old that I could, I had to go to the restroom. I had to go to the bathroom, and I didn't know how to wake up my mama. So again, like I said, I used to not be very vocal. So somehow, it was very, very, very difficult. So I suffered and suffered and suffered holding it. Then finally, she herself woke up and she was like seeing me in like distress. So she asked me what was the matter, and I said, I really have to go to the bathroom. So they stopped. So she went. She was so nice. We were in the middle of the highway, and so she told she went up to the driver and said, we have to go to the bathroom. And poor thing, she took it upon herself. She said, I have to go. And she was about 60 years old then, and back then 60 was not considered middle age. 60 was considered like kind of like an old lady. so so the bus conductor started complaining, and everybody started complaining, saying that it's in the middle of the highway. People were worried that we'd get robbed, because back then buses didn't stop at night. There used to be naxals and robbers, highway robbers, and things like that. So they didn't actually have, and they didn't have any rest areas or anything like how they do now. In the Vijayawada highway now is so nice. Back then it was not like that. It was a nice road. It was not a dirt road or anything. It was a proper road, but there was nothing, pitch dark. So, anyways, so they were very, very scared. But then finally, the bus conductor agreed to stop. The bus driver agreed to stop because my mama wouldn't take no for an answer. Okay, so that way she really stood her ground. But then they said, okay, we'll stop, but you can't go into the bushes or shrubs or on the side of the highway to go to the bathroom. You literally have to go to the bathroom like on the highway, like behind the bus, like on the road. because they were very, very, very scared of Naxals. And Naxalites are people like, they used to be communist groups which were like little bit more renegade and violent in nature. They used to like rob people, like kind of a Robin Hood type of model, where they used to rob from the rich and give to the poor. And there used to be real robbers also. So they were very scared to stop. It was like 1 a.m. ish at night, and highways used to be pitch dark, not like now. They didn't have all those highway lamps and all that, pitch dark. The only lights being from the headlights. So scary because other buses may be coming from the opposite side. But anyway, they said you can't go into the shrubs or anywhere because they didn't want to get murdered or didn't want that liability. So they said we'll stop the bus, and you literally have to go to the bathroom on the highway behind the bus. So, I felt very shy, like, and of course, my Amama sensed that I would be shy because they were women also. So, anyway, they stopped it. They mainly stopped it for my Amama and myself, but actually, a lot of passengers had to go. So, some 25, literally, the bus was accommodating there was about 60 to 80 passengers in the bus. So, about 25 to 30 people got out to do the bathroom. And all ages and all genders, like, both genders, male, female, older, young people, everybody. And we were not allowed to go anywhere. So we all got down, and so my mama knew that I would feel shy to go to the bathroom. Like, they were all like strangers there, even though it was pitch dark even then. And some of them had brought torchlights. So she took a towel from her bag, and then we all got down, and then she actually held the towel like this so that I could go to the bathroom on the highway. So there were like 20-25 people sitting behind the bus on the highway, and we all went to bathroom quickly. And I hope nobody went to like number 2. But everybody did it. And then we quickly came, like in like 2 minutes we finished the job, and we just quickly came. And I remember that. This is so bizarre thing. So anyway, she was very dynamic, very, very dynamic. So for us, all like our Amma was an old lady for us. She was a grandmother, and everybody called her like Mummy Garu, or everybody treated her as an older person. So we saw her always like, as an older person. She was there to take care as a mother, and run her house, and she had 6 children. Of course, not everybody lived with her at that time, that during the time that I was a kid. Many had left, but she was managing the home, and I used to like, cooking and taking care of babies. That's how I remember as a main job. Whenever there was a baby, she would come and take care, bathe the baby, feed the baby, dress the baby, and also, give guidance to my mother and her other children. And so mostly that's how we knew her. Always running around. Sometimes in the afternoon she'd take a nap, but she was always very dynamic, and I would always like remember her doing something always, like, I never remember her sitting still and, just relaxing. She would sometimes, but most of the time she'd be, even when she's relaxing, she'd be doing something. She'd be writing letters, she'd be writing she would be journaling every day. Every day she used to journal. Maybe my journaling habit came from there, coming to think of it. Maybe it's a genetic thing. Every day she'd write a journal. She'd write a lot of letters. She was very communicative, very social. So she was like that. That's how, I remember her, and that's what she was to me. So then finally we reached Vijayawada, and she booked a rickshaw for us, pulling rickshaw. And the rickshaws in Vijayawada were not like flat like the Hyderabadi rickshaws. They used to be a big seat, and you'd sit like high up like that. Even in Vizag, in all of Andhra, actually rickshaws are like that. So we took a rickshaw, we put our luggage there, and we went to Sundarama's house. So the reason I was so excited about going to Sundarama's house was my dad told me, and my mom also told me, and my Amma also confirmed that my mother was born in that house. Back then, kids were not born in during my mother's time. Even during my time, actually, many children, babies were usually they used to go to their mom's house for delivery. And since my grandma was didn't have a mother, she used to go to mostly to Sundarama's house, and some of the other children she went other places for delivery. So my mother was born in that home. So my dad told me that there's a room in which your mother was born, so check it out. And on the wall, basically it was a birthing room, so there'll be etched in the wall would be the dates and times that all the babies were born. So lovely. Back in the day, really reminds you of olden days, that there was a birthing room, and then all the babies, all the kids who came there for deliveries, when the kids were born, the names of the babies, and if the baby didn't have a name, they'd say Koduri baby, and they in Telugu the date would be written and the time would be written on that wall, and all so many names. When I saw it like that. But they said, like, check that out. You'll see where your mother is born. And I was like, oh my God, my mother was a baby once. Because you only remember them as a mother. You only remember your grandmother as a grandmother. So I was like, okay, I'll check it out. So we landed up at Sundarama's house. That was the first time I went to that house. And amazing house. I had only seen it in the movies. It was actually a very ancient, traditional courtyard style house. And I had never seen an ancestral home like that. And it was beautiful. We entered, and there was a small compound. We entered it. And then there was a Tulasi Kota outside. And then you entered the courtyard. Huge courtyard in the middle, and surrounded by all rooms. And I was like literally amazed. I'd never seen, actually all ancient homes used to be built like that. They used to be courtyard style Indian homes. Now again, slowly it's coming back in US, and especially in the California, Texas. They're building courtyard style homes, but the original courtyard style homes were used to be built in like Spain and India, especially southern India mainly. They were all courtyard style homes. So this is the first time that I actually saw that home. I think by then the home was already maybe like 100 years old, but at least 50 years old for sure. It could be 100 years old also. I don't know. But it was an ancient home, and it was amazing. But what was most amazing for me is as soon as my Amma went in, like her whole, she became a different person. So basically, this home was her Amma's, right? So Sundaramma came, and she was like very much a regal lady and in command, and she's like, oh, come, my Amma's name was Indira Lalita. So she's like, oh, come, and then she, in Telugu, the word for girl is like Ammai, okay? So she was like, oh, Indu, vachava. And I was like, Hindu? Who's Hindu? Yeah. So I did not realize that they had sweet name for her, so she's like, many used to call her Lalita, some used to call her Indira, and she was, her Amma was calling her Indu, did you, Uchava and all that. Then all these other cousins came, Kanakavalli Pinni's children, her cousins, and of course Sundarama had her own children. They all came, all the girls, they were not girls, okay? They were all in the age group of 50 to 70, okay? So all the cousins, Sundarama's children, like boys and girls, and then this was the most shocking dialogue that I heard. And then Sundarama and Kanakavalli Pinni, they go and they had a cook, and there was a big cauldron of pappu or rice cooking, like a big cauldron, and they were wealthy. I didn't realize that my Amama's relatives came from that old money. I did not know that until I went there. So they had cooks, and of course it was a because of the wedding also they might have had the cooks stay. Maybe they were temporarily there, but anyways. So the funniest thing that I heard coming back to that is my Kanakavilpinni and Sundaramma, like not my mama, saying to each other, పిల్లలు వచ్చారు పిల్లలు వచ్చారు, the girls have come, the kids have come. So I was like, the kids? And I thought they were referring to me, and I was like, I was only a little kid, I was the only one. I was like, where are the kids? Because అమ్మాయిలు వచ్చారు, పిల్లలు వచ్చారు, పిల్లలు వచ్చారు, like they were saying, like because all the cousins had come. And then I was thinking, who are these like children? Pillalu are children. Then suddenly I put two and two together, and I realized that they were talking about my Amama and all her cousins, all these 50 to 70-year-olds, men and women who were grandparents. All of them were grandparents. so so I realized, oh my God, for them it is like a kind of like a homecoming. They were coming to their Pinni's house or Amma's house. So nice, and they didn't have the rest. They were not grandparents here in this home. They were kids, and they were being treated like kids. And the whole thing, I saw my Amama in a different light. All her cousins, I had seen their cousins. Some of their cousins had gone to their homes, and their grandparents, their children, and they would be like running around making coffee, making tea, and all that. But here they were different. So they all were given allocated rooms. So my mama and I got a room, and they said, okay, there were so many rooms all around. Only one bathroom though, and that bathroom was in the backyard. But but back in the day it was like that. They didn't have the concept of attached bathrooms, especially in these old homes. So we all dumped the luggage in our room. And they all came into the courtyard, and they all like plonked themselves on. There was the courtyard is like this, and there are two stairs. There's like a little step down stair leading into the courtyard, just one step down, like maybe 1 foot 6 inches, all around the perimeter of the house, and the courtyard is in the middle. So they all plonked themselves on the stairs, and I saw them laughing and joking and hugging each other and pinching each other's cheeks. And Sundarama and Kanakavalli Pinni were managing everything. They were saying, oh, and they were referring to them as kids. They were saying, bring coffee for the kids, and what would you like? Would you like, oh, you like upma? I'll make upma. Hot upma I'll make, like that. And I thought, oh my God, all these grandparents, they fuss over us when we go to their homes. We don't even know what is their favorite dish. I don't know that my Amama had a favorite dish, that she likes upma or she likes idli, and somebody liked pesarat too, and they'd say, oh, this one likes. And the Sundarama and Kanakavalli Pinni knew about all these kids who were 60-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 70-year-olds, what they liked, and they were referring to them as kids, and they were just not running around at all. They were just so relaxed, and they were like laughing and joking. And so then idlis came and vada came, and their amma and everybody was fussing over them, serving them. So I totally saw how they were with their parent figures. And I thought, oh my God, so nice. No matter how old you grow, like for your parents, you'll always be a baby, and they're treating them like babies. So, and they're all like commenting on them, saying, oh, you look so pretty. And so I kept thinking, my God, I don't know if anybody, how many years it would have been if that somebody called my mama pretty, or they're always in a giving mode, you know, and it was just so nice. And I then realized why my mama so badly wanted to come here, and of course, it was to meet her cousins. But whenever you go to your parents' home, I guess you're just a kid again. And anyways, then the we got ready for the wedding, and then all these people's children came. And the one thing I noted is my mama's family, all the women, you know, uh, not to sound casteist, but there's a very particular features that Brahmin ladies have. They have a particular skin tone, a yellowish skin tone, and they have sharp nose, and they have some like certain features. And all of them were like so beautiful. All the girls were so beautiful. Of course, some cousins I already knew, my mom's cousins who were from Ongole, because they used to often visit us. And of course, they were all very pretty. But I saw other people's children, like, this Pinni's children, that Pinni's children, and all of them, they were in their like 17 to 20, 23 age group. They were all like so pretty. And the bride herself was like so pretty, but I don't know whose child she was. But anyways, the wedding was right across the street in a hall. So next day, everybody was they told everybody, like, you have to only one bathroom, so you have to quickly finish the bath and come. So the men were all bathing outside, like, in the backyard, like they were just like, wearing their shorts, and they just bathed there. And the women could go and bathe. So we had to wake up. My mama woke me up at 4 a.m. So everybody goes in like for 5 minutes at a time and gets ready. That's how it used to be back in the day. Like, not even back in the day, it was during my time actually. So we all got ready. We had the wedding, and then we came back, and then we stayed overnight. And in the evening, they all again gathered, and they were laughing and giggling. At some point, they even talked about my Amama and her cousins were even talking about their childhood crushes, because they said, "Oh, remember in Kavali, like, this one happened, this thing." And then suddenly my mama realized I was a kid. She didn't want me to see that side of her. So she said, go and roam around the house and count the number of rooms and come. So I said, okay. It was a fun activity. I still remember, even till this day, that I counted the number of rooms, believe it or not, and I'm not making this number up. Of course, I counted the kitchen, storeroom, everything, bathroom, everything. There were 40 rooms in that house. 40. Literally 40. So when I came back, I always told everybody, like, I went to a house, and my mama's Amma's house, like, they have 40 rooms in their house, 40 rooms. So it was really nice. And then, of course, we came back the next day. It was just two nights. We were there for 2 days and one night actually. But it was a super fun trip for me. And at some point, I saw, like, I really felt bad for my mama for losing her mother at such a young age, because I saw how her amma was and how her pinni were. They were so wealthy, and their children, you know they were clearly wealthy, right? And I don't know how much of an impact, like, being a I saw, like, how nicely her amma took care of her. And I felt, wow. And my mama is blessed to have somebody like that to support her. And then I realized why my mama also took care of her sisters like a similar way. She was very, very supportive of her sisters. Then I realized why they all stuck together. Poor thing, like, all my amma and her sisters, and I think they had a brother. I think they had a brother also. But anyways, um, I think that common bond was there of being motherless. And I felt really, really bad for her for being motherless. And she was lucky that she had her Sundaramma, she had her Kanakavalli Pinni, that she could just go and, let her hair down once in a while. She didn't do it very often, maybe once in 10 years or 5 years she would go. But it's so, just seeing that experience of her, I felt, oh my God, how difficult it must have been for her, at like losing the mother at like, yeah, such a young age at 10, and having all the responsibility. And I saw a different side of her. But anyway, that's one incident I wanted to convey. And no lesson from here, but you know value uh, I mean value your parents, and that's the only place where you will be a kid and a baby forever and ever. So enjoy them and cherish the time with them while you have them, because you know it's very precious. That's where you can just be a kid no matter how old you grow. So that's all I have for this episode. And next time I'll come back with episode 10.2, some more interesting things.